Okay, so I added more to the BitU position I've been showing on this channel for quite a bit now. I think like 2 weeks. I'm going to go over how much I added, what the position currently looks like, why I'm still holding on to it, and then from there we'll jump into Mara stock. So we can get an idea of what we can be looking forward to with Mara. And just remember, I'm going to be going over a lot of detail in this video. So none of this is me telling you guys to buy or sell. This is just showing you guys what I am doing, and it's very important everyone does their own due diligence and factor in your own strategies and risk management as well. But to get started, here's the position. I added another $5,000 today, so the current total invested to this BitU swing trade is $75,000. Um, the position is slightly still in the red, but that's okay because I kept saying that I like to accumulate early because a lot of these really good buying opportunities, at least from my own experience, tend to happen during closed market hours. And if you're trading an ETF like me, you're restricted to market hours and not 24/7 like Bitcoin. A lot of this like really good buying opportunity within the red that I've been highlighting and stressing on this channel for a while, that we can potentially find support within this red area. I backed it up by simply using previous structures to show an extension area for short-term bearish price trends, and how these two areas overlapping are very important. We ended up finding support within this area, but even though a lot of you may think that we are now just going to be moving higher, there's just one element I'm keeping an eye on. Because if you're saying, well, we have bullish confirmation because the price created a higher low and then it backed it up by breaking the previous swing high and moving higher. But you guys got to remember, and I've been saying this I've been saying this since we were down here within this area, and I gave some estimates as we were coming down into this red area, that we have an overall, so from the swing high, which is all-time high currently, all the way down to the swing low, I have this blue retracement area, which is acting as resistance currently. And then I backed it up by using some price action that happened recently to show some short-term bullish potential price topping area, overlapping with the blue retracement area to show that it's significant, and as well as a descending resistance line that is also holding quite well currently. So for me right now, and I've said this in yesterday's video and a few before, but there's two ways or at least I am personally going to confirm bullish continuation from here, and that is rather we come down. I mean, we're creating these new lower lows and lower highs structures in the micro picture, but this can lead us lower. We're holding that 0.35 resistance level at 115.8k. Resistances can act as support in the future. We're holding that, but we're failing to break above the descending resistance, and we're also failing to break the smaller picture resistance line as well, or this small swing high. So the idea is that we're going to continue this momentum down a bit more. I have a very simple support area, which is a retracement from this entire move up, this entire structure right here. So the idea is that the first thing is simply we come down into this area, try to find support within the yellow, and then from there we can start looking at structures breaking previous resistances, and then eventually breaking out of the blue price zone. And after that, well, at that point, I'm gonna be keeping track of um, future extension areas higher as we trend to the 128k price target as like the next leg up. That's the whole reason I've been accumulating early, to take advantage of not being able to buy during closed market hours. But the idea that we'll find support within this area, and then and then my take profit price will be the moment we break 128k, and then from there I'm looking for reasonable retracements, still holding a bigger picture uptrend during this bull market. That, I mean, in my opinion, there's no evidence that the bull market ended yet. So it's looking at reasonable retracements within it to open up new BitU positions and then continue trading from there. So take profit 128k and above. Um, I believe we can potentially see a retrace maybe before hitting 136k, but again, we will see what the structures look like at that point. But the first scenario is, I mean, we just continue this smaller trend down, hold support on a nice retracement from this whole move higher, and then from there, um, you know, actually have bullish confirmation breaking out of this area. The second possibility is, well, we can just not reach the support area, just hold a very shallow support, and then from there break 119k, which is the top of the range for resistance. The moment the price breaks 119k, there's a really good chance that we're going to see a lot of FOMO hype and bullish momentum make its way into Bitcoin. And from there, we're at that point. Really, I'm just looking at the all-time high to be broken like very shortly after. There will also be some fluctuations, but it will just be quite bullish. It's just something to keep an eye on, because at that point, the overall downtrend retracement is broken, and if investor sentiment continues to hold as it has in the past, from my own experience, chances are we're not gonna test any of these supports and just continue up higher. That's why I'm adding now just 5k, because I would like to add more as we come down potentially into this area, as long as I have an opportunity with market hours to add within the support, and still holding on to more capital, because I would like, right, we're in this resistance and we're in an overall downtrend. So if we're just downtrending, and these are just big swings, like we have a big swing down, up, down, up, down, up, we can easily continue the trend and go lower, which means if we break below 114k, at that point, the overall retracement for this move is broken, and there's a good chance we can potentially have one more low and mixing ourselves around that 110k level, which will be both discounted in the red and in the blue. So that opportunity is still there. Although, if that were to happen, there's a good chance that the majority of it will happen during closed market hours, and I won't be able to accumulate. So I would still like to accumulate early. Again, mostly because I believe the bull market is still alive. There's just, if it ended already, I feel like we would have seen a lot more bullish momentum. But besides that, again, this is a really good buying opportunity, just in my own opinion. So I'm taking advantage of these current prices below 120k, with the ideas of the price going to 128k and above soon enough. So that's the idea behind it. So in order to keep this uptrend alive, either break out, hit 119k and actually break it, or simply come down, hold a nice reasonable retracement, which also will allow the price to once again hit the 120 moving average, and then we'll see if bullish momentum continues from there. If we do come down into the yellow, it would also allow the RSI to be very much discounted too. So there's more evidence that potentially we could just continue this uptrend higher, but we have support and then one specific line of resistance to keep an eye on. But things are looking really healthy in my opinion in Bitcoin. It looks like investors aren't too bothered about a lot of the tariff stuff going on. There could be potentially some elements of like optimism due to a really bad jobs report pressuring the Fed, and then we all know, of course, that the Fed really wants to cut rates either way eventually, to be able to print more cash, and for the U.S. to not dig itself in a deeper hole when it comes to the U.S. debt. If you guys keep track of those clocks, there's like websites for it. It's quite crazy how quickly it builds up. So yeah, they're gonna have to raise the roof, and then the debt ceiling, and then of course they just got to print more money. That's really what it comes down to at the end of the day. None of this like is forever. Like asset inflation is a thing. It's just a matter of time by when it will happen. So until it happens, I'm just trying to take advantage of these short-term discounted prices. At least that's how I see them. So with Mara stock, nothing has changed from yesterday's video. We're still holding the accumulation area. If you guys are new, I've said this a lot, but I'm gonna try to make it quick, because I tend to repeat this a lot in a lot of videos for those of you that are new. But we've been keeping track of Amara stock quite well. It doesn't 100% correlate Bitcoin. If it did, the structure will look a lot more different. So I'm treating this as if really Bitcoin isn't a big deal for it, which it is, but also this is a growth stock. They have a lot of focus when it comes to growing the business and making sure it's sustainable for future halving events with Bitcoin. So there is a lot of money that goes into growth expenses. And of course that can hurt the shareholder short term. We just gotta also keep an eye on how much Bitcoin this company continues to accumulate. But as we came down from a high point, right? We kept keeping track of, how healthy a lot of these support areas could potentially be. I mean, previously, as we gone up higher, we had a quick opportunity to capture it, but now we finally broke below this very big picture ascending support. We broke it right here. The moment we did that, there was a lot of like economic fear, pushing a lot of these assets down. So a lot of this was mostly external factors. So it's a matter of time before we go above it. Once again, just in my own opinion. So the moment we broke below that, we were trying to keep track of short-term price action because, I mean, fear was very big and there was a good chance that the price was going to keep going lower. We ended up finding a good buying opportunity down here. We had a second chance to accumulate using previous value gap as a selling opportunity to take profit. So we hit it. After that, there was another retracement buying opportunity. We had two opportunities to capture it before it went up into the blue take profit area, which happened very recently. And then from there, quite simple. There's another red short-term discount buying opportunity. The idea of this is that just like in previously, a lot of the macroeconomic characteristics are, I mean, they're pretty much the same. There's like a lot of optimism and a lot of fear, but then optimism usually takes over, and we're like, I believe we're nearing the end of a lot of this like economic drama that we're seeing. Um, and we're also holding the short term ascending support quite well. But when we were in this area, I said like Mara stock has gone up quite a bit. It's very reasonable for it to retrace. How far can it retrace? Well, I have a big picture retracement area right here indicating that, well, we could potentially start seeing bulls attempt to pick up momentum here. And then I said I wouldn't be surprised if we trend within this area for quite a bit, as we continue to see the broad economy or the broad economic uh, emotions in the market begin to stabilize. And then if we start getting like some optimism in headlines, and I mean, we continue to hold this trend. There's like this like amplified like uptrend where we have this ascending support holding quite well. We've been respecting the ascending resistance decently. This allows the price, it has enough room for it to like crush this entire area. Although being conservatively speaking, due to um, still a question on whether or not we're gonna get a September rate cut or not. It's a big question mark. I have no idea. So with that being said, we got to see how the price trends. It's very possible that a good selling point would be like 2150 because it's a good median between the 23 and the $20 price range within the discounted portion of this area, but it still allows for a nice upside, right? So things can look very, very similar, just like in Bitcoin. Mara stock is a little bit delayed, at least when it comes to trying to show some bullish momentum. But same thing can happen. I mean, Bitcoin can continue to hold premium levels decently, where we can see Mara eventually just have some ups. Oh, one sec, wrong tool. Have some upside to potentially go up into this retracement area and have a second test of the accumulation area before we go up higher. It'll look very similar to this, or not exactly, but the idea is that it allows for that second test. Now, with that being said, this is a lot of like what ifs and stuff. So I'm gonna make it super simple. It's up to everyone. If anyone's been accumulating within these red prices between 1430 and 1750, basically, um, in my opinion, this is a good like short-term discounted opportunity. I believe that the price below $20 is a good deal, but right now we're around 15. We're dancing around 15, and any more weakness maximizing this area would just be an even better deal. Any break below the 0.618 at 1430 dollars is it's gonna be, in my opinion, just short lived, but it's still a risk, and that's why previous swing low right here is it's a good SL if you want to be like real conservative about it. But the idea is that we're holding this uptrend quite well. Bitcoin it looks like it's getting ready to start popping, and that can influence strength within Mara. But the idea is, just to make it super simple, regardless on whether or not we crush the yellow retracement resistance area for this entire move down, we can just dance around 17 for a bit. Like, we can exit and re-enter the red a few times using yellow as resistance. But eventually, when we break out of this area, the idea is that we can start seeing the bullish momentum fade away up here within this area. So I believe it's a decent buying opportunity. This swing trade could last a while. Like, it can last a bit. This isn't like a 1 week long swing trade or anything like that. But the idea is that good buying opportunity, good selling opportunity. If you want to be safe about it, which is a really good idea, previous swing low right here, SL, absolutely fine, because if we do break below the swing low, I believe there will be a lot of bearish momentum, and we could potentially start looking at like really nice like $10 to $12 price range as like a crazy buying opportunity, in my opinion, because I do believe soon enough it will be back over $20. That would just be, but that's just like an alternative, like super bearish scenario. As of right now, we're holding the uptrend. We're in discounted prices, decent buying opportunity, take profit be in this area. And it's as simple as that. If anything changes, I'll update you guys. If not, I will continue to update you guys on what I'm seeing, both in Mara stock and in Bitcoin. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Hopefully it made sense, and I'll catch you guys on the next one.